alternative to agenda-setting theory is framing theory. Framing theory suggests that the way information is presented, the frame, influences how people think about it. For example, a news story about job losses can be framed as a sign of a bad economy, or as a temporary setback. This shows how not just the topics covered, but also how they are discussed can shape public opinion.
So our second concept is framing theory. Framing is about how an issue is interpreted. So a frame is basically the angle or the lens that we use to present a topic. So an example, as we see in some of these images, is if two things are presented to you, but different language is used for both of them, we'll decide on one over the other based on that language that is used. So one of the examples is 20% or 80% lean, and the other one is presented as 20% fat. For the most part, if we see 80% lean, we'll go more towards that option, even if both of them are exactly the same. Another example is I'm going to show you two of the same pictures, but it has a different narration to them. So for example, if you saw this picture on the news and the title on this said Citizens Unite for Justice, we would interpret this as inspiring. On the other hand, if we were shown the same picture, but with the caption saying crowd disrupts city traffic, the framing changes. Our feelings change towards this image. Suddenly it feels chaotic. It's the same image, just a different frame. It's a different meaning. The framing shapes emotions, values, and assumptions. It tells you how to feel about what you're seeing. Framing also uses emotions. Research shows that when messages use emotions like fear, outrage, or hope, audiences process the information differently. Digital activism often uses emotional framing to mobilize communities. These two theories, agenda setting and framing, are essential for understanding how groups in Memphis communicate about xAI. One side pushes economic optimism, while the other pushes environmental concern. And each side uses digital platforms to make their version of the story feel more visible and more meaningful. Now that the tools are introduced, let's go ahead and walk through these theories, how these theories look in action. So, who is the Chamber? We're going to go a little bit more in depth now. So, the Greater Memphis Chamber is basically the city's cheerleading squad for business recruitment. Their job is to make companies want to move here. So when a huge tech company like xAI shows interest in Memphis, the Chamber is going to talk about it in the most positive and opportunity-focused way possible. Here I'm going to present a video that kind of shows how their initial communication and thought process of xAI happened.
I'm pleased to announce that xAI's Gigafactory of Compute, the world's largest supercomputer, is to be located in Memphis, Tennessee.
This is an historic day for Memphis.
This is going to be a multi-billion-dollar development.
Take the two largest supercomputers today, put them together, this is still bigger.
This sets the trajectory of Memphis's economic prosperity for decades. When you think about the computational power that it will take to put humans on the surface of Mars, that's going to come from the Gigafactory of Compute that calls Memphis home.
I remember the first phone call coming through, and I called Ted and I said, if this is real, this is huge.
We were on the outside looking in. We were told that by the company. And so it required speed and power.
It was an all hands on deck to make sure we had the best proposal on the table.
The moment that we met with Elon for the first time, I truly feel was a pivotal moment. He was incredibly impressed with how much had been developed in such a short period of time. We're talking 90 days.
We were able to focus on solutions, and if there ever was a challenge, we would find a solution to address that challenge. And that, I think, made us stand apart.
This process took a chamber that was built for the moment. And fortunately, the Greater Memphis Chamber was built for this moment.
Memphis has all the right ingredients. We have all the right partners. We have all the right leadership.
And this is our moment to define Memphis as that digital delta, a community that leads the world in technology advancement and deployment. And this is that validation.
This puts the word out there that do business in Memphis. Memphis understands operating at the speed of business. The importance of being a global leader and first to market, or accelerating that pace and scaling that pace as fast as possible.
In the same way that xAI is going to challenge the world of artificial intelligence, Memphis is challenging what the world thinks about our city. It is a new day in Memphis. We are here, we are innovative, and we can't wait to welcome more companies just like xAI.
So the video showed how excited the chamber was to have Elon Musk and xAI come to Memphis. And we see this further with the June 5th, 2024 press release. So the title of it is Velocity Meets Potency. xAI works to make Memphis a new home. This already sets the tone. It sounds energetic, fast, powerful. Nothing about environmental questions and nothing about the neighborhood concerns. The agenda is set from the headline. This is about momentum and innovation. Throughout the press release, we see this single focus agenda repeated again and again. The chamber highlights record-breaking investment by using phrases like largest capital investment by a new-to-market company in Memphis history. It also emphasizes speed and efficiency by using phrases like move to lightning speed and remarkable coordination. They also emphasize innovation and prestige with the world's largest supercomputer, global nexus, transformational project, and especially an emphasis on economic benefits. This is good paying jobs, additional revenues, support our reliability, and grid modernization. But what's missing? There's no mention of water usage, massive electricity demands, environmental permitting, air quality concerns, or community impact. Those things exist, but because the chamber doesn't put them on the agenda, they're not invited into the public conversation. At least not for this frame. This is agenda setting. When an institution with power focuses attention on some issues and not others, people end up evaluating the project through the lens that the institution provides. Here, the chamber's lens is all about speed, prestige, and economic growth. This is what Memphis should focus on and deem as important.